DYR, your music, your station.
Joining me in studio is Ms. Nkosazana Tengimfene. Did I say that correctly?
You said it correctly, thank you.
That is so much fun. I like getting these things correct. It's a formal interview, so I need to present myself in an admirable manner. So you come from NSFAS. We coming to chat with you about some issues that affect especially first-year students. And amongst those, I think my point of departure, what I'd like to know, what I'm interested in, is the fact that if I applied in 2017 and I never got a response, what is my point of departure in 2019? Because currently, my stand is that I have no funding. I have not been responded to in terms of my application.
If you were not funded in 2018,
yes.
So it's immaterial whether you applied or not.
I applied in 2017.
You applied in 2017, you got no response.
Yes.
You were therefore not funded. Your fee statement says nothing came from NSFAS.
Correct.
Which means you were not funded in 2018. You are therefore new to NSFAS and need to reapply.
Okay, so that
or should have reapplied because the application season closed in November last year.
Yeah, definitely. So you need to reapply for 2020 in 2019.
Right, unless you are in a TVET college, and I will talk about that if you allow me.
All right.
We have allowed TVET students to apply again starting from today until the 18th of January.
Okay.
And in this case, you apply at the TVET of choice. So you go into a Langeni TVET college, Coastal, Gugudlovu, wherever you are sitting, and you fill in an application with a financial aid officer at the TVET college between today and the 18th of January.
So one would wonder, with those late applications and the ones from 2018, you all are still responding to them. When is the closing date when someone will officially say, okay, I did not get funded, responses have been closed? When is that date?
We have been responding since November 2018. And responses keep coming through to students. And we'll talk about how they are reaching students or not reaching students. At the end of January, when every student in South Africa should have a yay or a nay from a university or TVET college, NSFAS will finalize all these funding decisions. Remember, Sam, that we will, as NSFAS, we can determine that you are funding eligible, but stop at that point because you have not presented yourself at any university or any TVET college. It's only when you get to that TVET college or university that NSFAS then says, now that you are admitted to UKZN, here is your funding.
So now, in this period of January, we have students who have excelled in matric, but did not apply because in high school we've got this stigma that says you're doing very well, you're getting straight A's, you do not need NSFAS, you're going to get a bursary in a university, so don't bother yourself. And you find that come January, they go and present themselves in the university, there is no bursary available for them because they did not apply for any. There was no information for them. What happens to those students who currently have straight A's? I have 8 A's, I have 7 A's, but I have no funding.
Look, it's our reality. Quite frankly, I would also say to South Africans, we should stop doing this to ourselves.
Sure.
You should preempt that I might be in this situation in January and therefore should have applied, but you didn't. And that's where we're at the moment. And that's why NSFAS has now opened this window, specifically for TVET colleges. Also, NSFAS has received more than enough applications.
Yeah.
And that's the reality of South Africa. And a lot of these learners do qualify, I would predict, because of the nature of our economy. So there is a competition for the spaces for NSFAS funding. So people shouldn't take this for granted. I would go to the nearest TVET college. Quite honestly, I'm sitting with good results, and I would go to a TVET college and try and get in. These students probably also have not applied at all to be at a university.
Yeah.
So go to DUT, go to UKZN, go to MUT, Mangosuthu University of Technology, and apply to first be admitted at the university.
Yeah.
Because whether NSFAS gives you funding or not, if you don't have that, it's good for nothing. Get that out of the way. NSFAS has not said they will reopen applications for universities, not at all.
Yeah.
NSFAS has, however, said we are reopening for TVET colleges.
All right. So now we still on 2018 students who are applying. Some of them chose to apply via hard copy, and the only communique they've received is via SMS. Those SMSs have been closed because of a problem, which you'll tell us about that. But now, what happens to them? Because most of them cannot access the online the online system because they were hard copy. And most of them, in most situations, because they're not familiarized with the online system, moving forward, how can they now receive communication?
Any student that has applied for NSFAS in 2018 would have, I'm talking about the ones who applied manually, would have received an acknowledgement card that has an application number and their ID number on it. It also was signed by a NSFAS official. This is how NSFAS says we acknowledge receipt of your application, so we know them, that they exist. That student, therefore, is able to go onto www.nsfas.org.za and create a profile online on my NSFAS portal, so that's how they talk to NSFAS at any given point. Right? Now, the NSFAS website is 0 rated, so you pay nothing if you go onto the NSFAS website. We've taken care of that. We also have a toll-free line, 0800 067 327. You can call these people, look at your acknowledgement card, and read out to them that application number, even your ID number. Let's say you've lost that card. You know your ID number. Give them that ID number. Let them tell you what your status is on the system.
That is very intriguing information right there. Your time is 13 minutes past 1 o'clock. We still continue to chatting with Ms. Nkosazana Tengiven.
DYR, your music, your station.
Just went 17 minutes past 1 o'clock. Music in my background. It is the one and only Amanda Black, the singing sensational, with the song titled Amazulu. It's a beautiful Monday hanging out with Nkosazana Tengiven right here on DYR1051, attacking and tackling different issues regarding financial aid and the funding of students in terms of if you're a first year going into a university, or you're in university and you're a first time applicant and you have no access to further information, we have created a small platform where we've randomly taken frequently asked questions and given them to her, and she's answering them right here in studio on DYR1051, your music, your station. If you just joined us, my name is Sam Favor, ushering you with the best of music right through till 3 o'clock. Let me draw you back in. In terms of consultation, you've given us the number, you've given us the web address. Is there any physical or provincial consultation where one can get a hold of you guys?
NSFAS does not have any offices in regions yet. However, we do sit in different institutions, and we ask that our learners and students, currently funded students rather, and applicants should contact us through the financial aid offices in the various institutions, or triple S's as they are called in TVET colleges. It's the best way to get hold of us. We will be going from college to college as we try to get more and more applications from TVET students. We'll also have a university season right at the beginning of Feb, and hopefully I'll be back here talking about the university season. But January is TVET season. So speak to your triple S at the TVET college. They will know how to get hold of us.
Definitely. So now, speaking of TVET colleges, one of your requirements is a matric certificate. Now, in an event, I did not get to matric. However, I completed at TVET College. I have a level 6 certificate. I now I qualify to go to university. I'm a student at university. Do I qualify for funding?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Remember, at TVET, there's also an entry point with a grade 10. And NSFAS funds that entry point. And there are students who want to now articulate out of a TVET college into a university. In these cases, we would also advise you first speak to the triple S. Get advice on what program you seek to do at a university, because NSFAS will then advise. There have been cases where we've said, no, you have a previous qualification which was NSFAS funded, and no, therefore we can't assist you going further. But there are cases where we know that the course that you did at a university, at a TVET, does not land you into a career path unless you go into a university. So that articulation is necessary, and then we will fund those cases. Again, your best starting point is the triple S officer at a TVET college. So
you also mentioned some of the reasons that make you disqualified in terms of funding. But what of the sum of maybe the top 3 reasons that make most people not qualify for funding?
The most common one is financial eligibility. So we would have looked at the evidence you've given us as household income, and we have determined that it's way more than 350,000 per annum, which is the minimum for maximum rather for NSFAS. So these students don't qualify. Let me also say, Sam, that most students make a mistake in the way they compile these documents. So when we read them, they present as if these parents earn much more. So students need to pay attention to the documents that they give us and how they present these documents to us. That's the first thing. Secondly, academically, you don't qualify. So you have passed matric, but you also don't have university entry, a bachelor's passed, allowing you to go into university. So obviously we are not going to fund you unless you go to a TVET college. So the TVET college or the university will tell us whether you are academically eligible to be funded. You are already funded by NSFAS. You've just finished year one, but you've failed all your courses. NSFAS will not carry through. So those are the two most common reasons. The third reason is what I call carelessness. In terms of the documentation that you've submitted. So we look at your file. You gave us an ID copy that's not certified. You did not submit the death certificate of the parent you now say is late, that sort of thing. Now remember, when NSFAS is looking at close to 1 million applications, and here you are, you've not given detail to giving us the correct authenticated documents, that application is probably not going to get the amount of attention that it should.
So funding eligibility, is it the same as where you reach a status whereby the communique says access fund eligibility? Is it the same thing?
Yes, we're still investigating. We're still looking at the documents. We're talking to SARS. We're talking to the employers. We're wanting to see whether the documents we've presented are authentic. That's what we're doing. We then come back to you and we say you are funding eligible, but you're not going to get your funds until a university or a TVET college claims you as theirs.
Oh, okay. I see that phase now. So now, what about the students who are funded in 2018, but find out when they come back to the university, the TVET college, the fees are still outstanding? In which case,
the university or the TVET college must claim. That claim must come to us from a university or a TVET college. So remember, universities and TVET colleges are a business. They look at their bottom line. Who owes us what? And if they see that this is a NSFAS student, the most automatic thing for any university and TVET college is to say, NSFAS, you haven't paid for some favor. You should. So these are cases where no claim has been received. In all fairness to institutions, the claim has been received, is sitting in the building at NSFAS. In that case, it's an issue between an institution and and NSFAS, and students therefore shouldn't suffer the consequences. So the university is able to say, yes, you are a NSFAS funded student. The fact that NSFAS hasn't paid us yet should not block you from registering in 2019. That's the agreement we have with all institutions.
Definitely. So now let me bring you into this matter. This matter has been problematic last year and the previous year, the signing of loan agreement forms. What is hindering this process?
It's personal responsibility. So Sam, you would have given us a mobile number and you say, this is how you get hold of me. And we send you a notification to please sign your contract, because this is a contract you have with NSFAS. We send this to you through all possible avenues. The email address you'd have given us, the portal, your mobile number. You don't sign. What you don't realize is that by signing that form, you're unlocking your allowances. So you don't sign, you don't get your allowances. That's the first thing. Secondly, students change their cell numbers all the time because they lose their cell phones all of the time. What, again, students don't understand is that if that's the number NSFAS has, that's the number NSFAS will continue to send your notifications to, unless through your My NSFAS portal, you notify NSFAS that you now have a changed number.
Now, lastly, before I let you go, one of our listeners, Lungile Sehona, texted that she used NSFAS for 5 years for her BA law and changed courses after that in 2014. However, she now wants to go back and complete her LLB in her final year. Now she's wondering, will NSFAS allow her to continue with that previous qualification while she has registered a new one and dropped the new one and now is going back to the one she was funded in? So it's a tricky one.
The devil is in the detail there, but let me give you a general answer. NSFAS will fund you for the number of years it takes to complete your particular degree.
Okay.
We call that the N+2 rule. The number of years is the N. Then we give you 2 years to, let me call it, mess around. Now you fail. We give you 2 years to play around still. So we look at the N rule and 2. And so Lungile I would have to look at her file and see how many years has she actually spent doing this particular degree. I'm assuming Lungile is a girl.
Yeah.
In my part of the world, it's a boy as well. How many years has Lungile spent doing this degree? Is she still within the N+2 rule?
Okay.
If not, then NSFAS won't fund her. If yes, she's taken a break in between. Now, it doesn't matter if she changes universities. NSFAS is able, through a system, to check for how long has this person been at a public university. So if you change from Wits to UKZN and then MUT is where you completed your degree,
Sure.
you're able to pick up just the number of years you've spent doing the same degree. As I say, the devil is in the detail. I'd have to look at how many years she's been doing that.
She's been doing it for 5 years, so I guess she's no longer in the N+2.
She's probably outside of the N+2, unless it's a 4-year degree.
Oh,
So
okay.
we gave her space to do it in 6 years.
That is very interesting and very informative. Thank you for joining us at DYR.
You're most welcome.
Hopefully next time when things get hot in the country, they always get hot, you'll come around.
God forbid.
And hopefully it's going to be a different year, hey?
Yeah.
And you're going to come around and clarify some things for us. Thank you for
I'll
coming.
do that. Thank you very much.
That is all the time we have for. That was Ms. Nkosazana Tengipen.
1051. This is DYR. Your music, your station,